Every few years, nature reminds us who's really in control. A landslide swallowing homes, a tornado tearing through city streets, a volcano shaking the planet itself. Each moment you're about to see is real. No CGI, no Hollywood effects. Just pure, unstoppable power, filmed by people who never expected to see the world crumble in front of them. From mountains collapsing to fire spinning in the sky, these are the greatest natural disasters ever caught on camera. And by the end of this video, you'll witness the single most powerful eruption in modern history, recorded in real time.
Switzerland, calm, beautiful, peaceful, until the summer of 2018, when the ground itself decided to move. In the tiny village of Grunier, nestled in the canton of Valais, residents had no warning. After days of heavy rain, a deep rumble echoed through the valley. At first, it looked harmless, muddy water trickling down the mountain stream. But then, it grew faster, thicker, heavier. Cameras rolled as walls of mud burst through barriers and ripped over roads. A black SUV parked nearby was dragged several feet by the sludge. The scene looked like a volcano had erupted, only it was mud, not lava, coating every street. By the end, no one was hurt, just shaken. The town spent weeks scraping mud off walls and roofs, a reminder that even the quietest places can explode into chaos without warning. But in our next story, nature didn't just bury homes, it took them and carried them out to sea. June 3rd, 2020, Alta, Norway. A man was making lunch when he heard something strange, a cracking, groaning sound from outside. He looked out the window and the ground was moving. He ran for his phone, and what he captured became one of the most surreal videos of the decade. In just seconds, the cliffside beneath an entire neighborhood began to slide. Houses, trees, and entire chunks of land, breaking free and slipping silently into the Alta fjord. It looked like the planet was exhaling. 8 houses vanished into the water that day. No one was hurt, but everything was gone. The cause? Quick clay, a fragile ancient sediment left behind by melting glaciers thousands of years ago. When it gets saturated, it can liquefy in an instant. The slide stretched over 2,000 feet and moved 500 feet inland. It was the largest ever recorded in Alta, and scientists believe it won't be the last, because in Norway, the ground beneath you isn't always as solid as it looks. But while Norway's homes slipped quietly away, the next disaster roared like a freight train. Tornado Alley. Locals know the risks, but no one's ever truly ready. Marshalltown, Iowa, July 2018. An EF3 tornado tore through the heart of the city. Power lines snapped, roofs peeled off, and one man stood in an alley, phone in hand, filming as the storm devoured his street. The video is terrifying. You can hear the roar as debris flies across the frame. Within seconds, the cameraman dives for cover, and the lens goes black. That same tornado ripped the spire off the courthouse and carved an 8-mile path of destruction. $320 million in damage, but somehow, no one died. It's hard to believe something that powerful could pass through a city without taking a single life. But sometimes, luck is the only difference between survival and tragedy. And in the French Alps, luck was all that stood between a group of friends and an avalanche. La Grave isn't like other ski resorts. No trails, no fences, no avalanche control. It's raw mountain, which makes it both breathtaking and deadly. In March 2015, a group of skiers were enjoying a sunny day when they noticed a wall of snow moving on the opposite slope. At first, they laughed. It looked distant, harmless. Then someone shouted it was coming straight for them. Within seconds, the white cloud grew taller, faster, closer. The camera shakes as voices rise in panic. And then, silence. The avalanche stops just short of dusting them in snow. They got lucky, very lucky. Avalanches kill thousands every year, but few ever get to watch one this close and live to tell the story. But if you think mountains are terrifying, wait until you see the ocean rise up. January 2022. The South Pacific. A volcano hidden beneath the waves, Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai, erupted with a force no one had seen in modern times. The blast was heard across the globe. Shockwaves circled the earth 4 times, and the plume of ash pierced the stratosphere. Tsunami waves slammed into Tonga's coastline, sweeping through homes and airports. Communication lines were cut. Entire villages were gone. Satellite images showed the blast lighting up the atmosphere like a nuclear explosion. Scientists estimate it released energy equal to 61 megatons of TNT, more powerful than the largest bomb ever detonated. The eruption didn't just reshape the islands. It reminded the world how small we really are. But not every disaster comes from deep within the planet. Some fall straight from the sky. Summer 2016. The oil boom had turned Dickinson, North Dakota, into one of America's fastest-growing towns. But with prosperity came something else: chaos. The day started calm. Then, out of nowhere, the sky turned green. Within seconds, hail the size of golf balls hammered the town. Windows shattered, cars dented, lawns turned white. One man's video captures it perfectly. Hail exploding against his windows, the sound like machine gun fire. In minutes, the storm caused millions in damage, and yet again, no one died. Mother Nature had fired a warning shot, but in Louisiana, the danger wasn't in the sky, it was waiting underground. Bayou Corn, Louisiana. Residents began noticing strange bubbles rising in the swamp. At first, they thought it was gas. Then one morning, the ground opened up. John Boudreau caught it on camera. Trees, full-grown, rooted trees, began to vanish. Not fall, vanish. One after another, they were pulled beneath the water as if swallowed by an invisible monster. The sinkhole was traced to a collapsed salt mine. It had been drilled too close to the edge, ignoring years of warnings. When it finally gave way, the result was catastrophic. By 2018, the sinkhole had grown to 34 acres, and experts believe it's still expanding today. But sometimes, it's not the earth that moves, it's fire. A man's RV got a flat tire near Redding, California. As the rim scraped the road, sparks flew into the dry brush. That tiny moment ignited one of the most destructive wildfires in California history. 369 square miles burned, 1,600 buildings destroyed. But the most terrifying thing wasn't the fire itself, it was what the fire became. As hot air rose, it twisted into a vortex, a tornado made of flames. It stretched 18,000 feet into the air and spun at 143 miles per hour, the same force as an EF3 tornado. Helicopter footage shows the fire twisting like a living creature, devouring everything in its path. It was fire creating its own weather. But even the skies can't compare to what happened beneath the world's highest peaks. April 25, 2015, Kathmandu, Nepal. Just before noon, the ground began to shake. Within seconds, temples that had stood for centuries crumbled to dust. People ran into the streets as buildings collapsed around them. CCTV cameras captured the panic. Walls cracking, dust clouds rising, screams echoing. The quake measured 7.8. Its epicenter lay deep beneath the Gorkha district. Aftershocks up to 7.3 followed for weeks, triggering avalanches on Mount Everest. Thousands died, millions were displaced. It was Nepal's worst disaster in more than 80 years. But as the Himalayas trembled, another nation faced a slow-moving disaster of its own, one that would drown entire regions. Summer 2022. Pakistan was boiling under record-breaking heat. Then came the rain, and it didn't stop. Glaciers melted in the north. Monsoon rains hammered the south. Within weeks, 1/3 of the country was underwater. 33 million people affected. 1,600 dead. $40 billion in damage. Entire cities disappeared beneath brown water. Roads, bridges, homes, gone. Livestock drowned, crops destroyed, families displaced. It was one of the worst floods in modern history, and a warning of what's coming if our planet keeps heating up. Every one of these moments started the same way, an ordinary day. People waking up, going to work, living life. Then, in an instant, everything changed. A landslide, a wave, a fire, an earthquake. Nature doesn't ask for permission, it just acts. But thanks to the people who captured these events on camera, we can see and learn just how fragile we are. Because no matter how advanced we become, we're still guests on this planet. And sometimes, the host decides to remind us. If you're still watching, you're one of the few who truly appreciates how powerful nature really is. So hit that subscribe button and check out the video on screen now for more unbelievable moments caught on camera.